let's talk about Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation, a drugstore makeup product, and you will see the application, the wear test, and also the super close-up application in the first impressions when I was doing a lip art with it. Mine is in the scent 030 Scent Beige, which is my perfect winter shade, and I'm filming this, it's already summer, but it has just started, so I haven't picked up a lot of tan yet, and these are probably the last days when I can use this color. Let's see the state of my skin. Here's how it is looking close up with nothing on. I would say I'm having a pretty good skin day. I have no serious breakouts or anything, but I do have some spots that I want to cover and just the general unevenness. And I'm also going to try to apply this foundation as a concealer. I will be using these two primers, the Smashbox for the Finish one, Smooth and Blur for my T-zone, which is oily, and the e.l.f. Gripping Primer for my cheeks and also for this area because I was sick and I really have kind of dry skin here at the moment. The Gripping Primer under my eyes. I know it's not exactly an under eye primer, but for me it works. Let me just pick up some foundation. I have this brush and I'm using what I call the lazy girl method because I'm too lazy to apply it on a mirror or on a palette and then clean it. And as for applying something in the back of my hand, ooh, gives me the chills. I hate having my hands dirty, so I never do that when doing my makeup. And I just apply a few small, really small dots. But the lazy girl method isn't a silly girl method, so we're still going to try to distribute this kind of evenly around the face. Totally forgot that I have a fringe. And as you can see, I'm applying a relatively small amount and then starting to kind of blend it a little bit and tap it in. This is a full coverage foundation, so as you can see, a small amount really covers up most of the problems. You can always add some foundation if you feel like this is not enough. I prefer to start with a small amount so that I don't get too much, because removing it would be having to remove the whole face makeup. Although I'm already pretty happy with the result, I didn't get the full coverage yet. Okay, on my nose I don't have enough. On my forehead I have enough, especially seeing that you could not see it under the fringe. That looks so good. Okay, let's blend it now. Do let me know what your current favorite foundation is, because I haven't tried that many and I'm really curious to know, especially if it's affordable, but also if it's high-end, I'm still curious. See, the lazy girl method works! The foundation blends beautiful and gives me pretty much full coverage with this method. Then if I feel like I don't have enough coverage or I want more coverage in certain areas, spot concealing method. Take a tiny, teeny amount of my finger. Put it here, and I put it here. Do you want it here too? Yeah, I think I want it here too. By the way, blending the foundation into the neckline, just making sure it's blended. And then I just do this. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, 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 tap. Now, using it as a concealer, I'm taking this brush. It's like a fluffy eyeshadow brush, a blending brush. And I already have some primer under my eyes, remember? I just pick up a very tiny amount of this foundation, kind of like this. And I put it under my eyes using the same method to distribute it evenly, not forgetting this area here, which for me always is very blue. And kind of doing the same thing that I did on my whole face and blending it very softly without applying much pressure here. So that's why I'm using a different brush. I'm not tapping it in as strongly so that I don't accentuate any fine lines, any imperfections under my eyes. You can go back and add a tiny bit more if you are lacking the coverage somewhere. So this pretty much works as a concealer. You cannot really see my under eyes except when I do this, but that's because just shadow falls. And my under eye area is also the only area that I'm going to be setting with a powder, because otherwise my lower lid eyeshadow starts transferring. But as for the rest of my face, the foundation is pretty much self-setting. I have worn it a million times and I've never really set it with a powder. It just doesn't really transfer. Oh, how lovely. I've got plenty of cat hair here, even though I have just cleaned this brush. Once again, with these swiping movements, I'm applying a little bit of powder here. Here is the finished look with all the makeup products. The only products that I applied on top of the foundation was the blush and the highlighter, so these areas only. Here, it pretty much said itself. I did not apply any powder. No transferring. Let me show you the skin texture up close. So this is how it looks. You can see that it masked all the imperfections pretty well. Here are the under eyes. Here's the under eye area. I do have some eyeshadow fall out. That's not the foundation's fault. The forehead, the chin area. You will now see the first impressions and the wear test so that you can make up your mind on whether you want this foundation or not. I will only say that the only downside for me so far is that the foundation didn't seem to come in that many shades in the store, so I'm not sure I will be able to find my perfect summer shade, because honestly I'm so in love with this foundation. I'm so much in awe that a drugstore affordable foundation can do the job so well that I would definitely get it for summer too. We'll see. I'm just about to start a lip art with this new foundation by Catrice that I have just bought. And oh my, the first impression is so good. I obviously need still to do a wear test, but look, so far it's looking so flawless. I have tested the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage for almost 8 hours, minus maybe 15 minutes. And would you look at that? My oils are not really shining through. It's still pretty much matte. The blemishes are still pretty much covered, like they do still show up a little, but I think overall for 8 hours, it is looking great. It is looking great, I'm telling you. For a drugstore foundation, I'm amazed. Julia from the future here. I forgot to mention a couple of things that I don't like about this foundation, and I really hope that the microphone is doing its job and you can hear me and not the pouring rain that we are having. What I don't like about it essentially is the packaging, but in several ways. First of all, I don't really like that it's glass, not plastic. I know a lot of people like that, but I do like to carry my foundation around when I apply it so that I can retouch. Glass is always heavier. In the same spirit of me trying to carry it around, I don't like that it comes with just the silicone cap and then you will apply foundation like this. And there is no protection, like there is no plastic cap over it. There is no box. It didn't come in a box. It just came in a plastic film, sealed so that you can see that it's new. But if you want to actually carry it around in your makeup bag, I feel like this thing will get damaged pretty quickly. So you would need to find a box of a similar size or some kind of a small makeup bag to give it extra protection. I think the product inside is what's the most important after all, but I do think they could make the packaging a little better because those plastic caps are not really super expensive. I have the e.l.f. gripping primer and it has a plastic cap and a box. So, and we know e.l.f. is pretty affordable, so I doubt that it is something super expensive. If you want to see more reviews about various makeup products, just tap on this playlist. I'll meet you there. Bye.